Hey everyone, welcome to Princess of Gay. I'm your host Connie, and today, you can see in the title, we're making a bit of an announcement. So, prior to taking that week off, I had been floating around the idea of moving to an unscheduled schedule. Instead of doing like each reaction series I'm currently going through on a scheduled manner, I would instead be switching over to doing it unscheduled. This is something I'd done before, and it had given me some issues before, but I was thinking like maybe that was just due to how I was recording at the time or how things were going or yada yada. And so I've been thinking about trying this out again. And if all fails, we can go back to doing scheduled again. We can just switch back if we need to. But I want to at least give this a shot. I want to give this a try, see how it goes. It might work out for the time being. Even if it's not a permanent thing, which it most likely won't be. I want to at least give it a chance. It could end up lasting longer than you would think. So, basically, the idea is exactly as it sounds. We're not going to have a schedule for the reactions anymore. What this basically amounts to is that I will be uploading reactions when I get to them, basically. This will completely change the dynamic of how the channel works in that regard. It'll change how orders of things happen and everything. And my biggest issue with this, my biggest worry, my biggest concern, whatever you want to say, is what happens if there's a show that I just don't end up getting to for a while. Like, I get to all these other shows, fine, good. But what this one show ends up staying on the wayside. And when I had been floating around this idea before taking the break, the one idea that was given to me was like, oh, you could like make a spreadsheet, and it's like, oh, you can only get to this many episode reactions of shows before you had to make sure you got to everything else before continuing with the other stuff. If that makes any sense, if I explained it well enough. I'm not good with spreadsheets. I don't like spreadsheets. But the idea of like, oh, I can only get to so many of shows A through D before I can continue with them, so it forces me to get to shows E through F. I'm just using examples here, but you get the idea, hopefully. It's not a terrible idea, but I feel like it would be very hard for me to keep up with. And I just feel like what we're trying to do here is to like not have it scheduled. So by forcing that idea, it also forces in a sort of scheduling to it. Like, we're still forcing the idea of having it make sure that we get to everything. We schedule ourselves to get to everything in some way, even if it's not like a full weekly, day-by-day schedule. So the question is, like, what happens if I do come across a moment where I end up, like, not getting to a show for a while? Well, the simple answer is that I'm going to, and this might not be, like, the most satisfying answer to some people, but I am going to try my damnedest to not let that happen. I'm going to try my best to make sure I get to everything within reasonable time. That Doesn't mean that like everything will be reacted to equally though. I might get to some shows a lot quicker and faster than others. And I might even do multiple episodes, multiple videos of one show in a week, while other ones, like maybe once a week or even not that often, like once every other week or something. Hopefully, it doesn't amount to that. Hopefully, it's closer to once a week at least, for everything. Um, but the big thing here is that there will be no set days for anything. So, for example, for stuff like Chainsaw Man, my mind was blanking for some reason. Chainsaw Man, you won't have to wait until the weekend to see reactions to. Um, and so on and so forth. Now, what does this mean for the current scheduled shows? Are we going to be cutting anything back? Are we going to be uh, adding stuff or whatnot? Well, we're definitely not adding stuff right now because we still have 7 shows we're currently doing because it was one for each day of the week prior. Um, and so right now we're going to keep it as is. We're going to keep it with these 7 shows that we have, but we might be cutting it down because here's the thing. We have 7 shows we're currently reacting to, which is a lot to get done. And part of the reason that we're doing this change is to make it a little easier on me, especially during these holidays. Where I don't feel as constrained and I don't feel like I'm gonna have to like force myself into things as much, because that's a big thing that I just don't want to feel over the holidays. You know what I mean? So we have our 7 shows right now, and we're probably going to, once certain shows end, cut certain slots out. We're going to make sure we always have a slot open for poll series, always have at least one slot open for donation rewards, and for first impressions continuations. Those will always have a slot, no matter what. But other slots might change. And we might change how many other slots we are doing, dependent on the shows that we're currently reacting to, what I feel like I can handle at the moment, stuff like that. We're not going to drop anything that we currently have going. So we're going to keep the 7 we have now. But if I feel like I need to cut it down after that, we will. Like if a show ends, I might feel to just not replace it with anything at the moment, just to cut down the schedule a little bit. And at some point, I might start. Let's say we're down to 5 shows a week. At some point, I may start a new show, kind of out of the blue, a new slot. And at that point, we'll have 6 slots instead of 5 again. It's just gonna be taken, like, just kind of on the fly. We're gonna just see how it goes, basically. Rather than like fully planning anything out. Because again, kind of the point. And the channel banner, whenever, like, if we do cut down slots and everything, like, instead of like completely changing it around to just have like those 5 images up there, like, again, using 5 as an example, the other 2 will just have like something filling them, either like like just a placeholder thing, or maybe like referencing the fact that we're gonna have streams every Thursday still, because that's not changing, by the way. We're still doing our streams on Thursdays. And also other things that aren't changing are like the movie YouTube reactions, donation rewards, all of that's still going as normal. Um, the upcoming holiday special stuff still going ahead as normal. None of that's changing. It's just the weekly show schedule is now just going to be unscheduled. um, and so another question you might be wondering is, what is that going to mean for this week? Since I already had a couple things pre-recorded, and we've already started going with this week and everything anyway. So what is it going to mean? Are we going to wait to do it, or are we going to start this right away? Um, and I think the best answer is that we're going to start this right away. Because I only have like half of this week pre-recorded. Um, so it doesn't really matter that much that we start this now or wait. It's not really this big of a deal. Like, oh, we have to finish out this week. If I had everything for this week pre-recorded, then yeah, we would wait. Um, but because we have like quite a few days this week that are just completely unaccounted for, it's just going to be, yeah. Um, but I think that this might at least help for during the holidays, because of the fact that with this, I won't need to stress to get things done. I won't need to stress to adhere to a schedule. It's like, if I don't get to something a certain day or whatnot, I just don't get to something. And on some days, I might be super productive and get to a shit ton of stuff. Now, another question you might have is, will I pre-record stuff and like release it at a later point, or am I just putting up everything the same day I record it? And I don't know how often and when I would like pre-record things for this. Um, but there will be certain points for sure where I'll kind of have to. um, for example, the week after Christmas leading into New Year, my dad usually takes that off of work. And if he does that again this year, I won't be able to record for that entire week. So it's either I would take that week off, have another week off this soon, or I would have to pre-record a few things to put up during that week, which I could probably do. Just record it the week before. Um, we'll see how that goes. Because obviously Chainsaw Man can't be pre-recorded. But again, without having a schedule, I can just pre-record whatever I want. So I don't have to worry about it. I can pre-record a bunch of just stuff I want to get to. But yeah, we're going to see how this all goes. We'll test it out. At least until like into the new year and everything. If I really feel like it's starting to not go well by then, we'll just switch right back. And if I feel like it's going well, we'll continue. Um, so this is also a way to make it so that some people don't have to wait an entire week for certain things to come back. Because, like I said, there might be like multiple days in a week where I get to, for example, Amphibia reactions. You might get like 2-3 episodes of Amphibia a week because of this. I'm not saying that you absolutely will. I'm just saying you could. That's part of how this could go down. And you might only get one a week. It just, again, it's going to depend on what I'm feeling up to. Now, everything that I already have pre-recorded will still be put up this week, of course. Um, it'll be put up today, and we'll kind of go from there. Um, like I said, movie reactions, all of that won't be affected. That'll still be like basically as it goes, just like it's been. So also unscheduled. Um, yeah, not really much of anything else is going to be changing. It's just it's just a way to do this that in a way that's going to be a lot more stress free for the holiday season, because I won't be like constrained to anything. I won't be like really locked down to doing it a certain way. I can just handle it as I handle it. Um, I'm still gonna have my list of shows that I'm reacting to, and hopefully that'll help keep me on track to make sure I get to everything as often as possible. Um, but we'll see. We'll see. And remember, if you guys feel like I'm not getting to something quick enough, you can always let me know in the comments. You can always tell me, and it's like, oh, why aren't you getting to uh, more Cobra Kai or more Spy Family within a good amount of time? It's like, we're waiting for more episodes of that. Just let me know, and it's like, okay, sure, I'll get to some. It's like, I don't mind. Just let me know if you really feel like I'm lagging behind on something that you want to see more reactions to. That'll probably push me to get to it just fine. So, yeah. Like I said, we're just going to take it as it goes. So, some days there might be no reactions. Some days there might be many reactions. It just depends on what I'm feeling up to and what I feel I want to get to. And keep in mind, like I said, movies and stuff will be coming just as is as well. Specials, all of that. Um, there will be something I will be kind of adding in there, but it's not like really a full length show. So there it is something I did want to react to, and it's like it's not really a full length show. Like it's a series of shorts, so it's like I could just kind of slip that in whenever. So expect something a little extra there to be coming in. In fact, I might just react to the entire thing at once since it's just a short series of shorts. A short series of shorts, yeah. You know what I mean. I mean, that's correct, but either way, so that's the plan. Hope that my insane rambling made some sense to y'all. If you have any questions, any concerns, any thoughts at all, please leave them in the comments below. I do read every comment, and I'd love to hear what you think. I'd love to hear anything you might have to say about this. Just let me know. Um, we'll see how it goes. And again, if I feel like it's a little too disorganized and I'm not liking it, then I'll probably switch back, but it probably won't be till after the holidays. We'll at least give this somewhat of a buffer period, to test it out. um, but yeah, tell me your thoughts down below. And thank you all so much for understanding. Thank you all so much for tuning in. For now, I'm Connie, and I'm signing off. See y'all next time.